Okay, it's recording. We know problems, and we've talked about problems here. But let's take a look here and think about what is a problem solution. So if you're going to write about a problem and a solution, what do you think you're going to include? What is a problem solution essay? Really, it's where you explain a problem. You explain a problem and you offer one or more solutions. So maybe if you were going to explain this problem, COVID-19, you might say, I'm explaining part of a problem. Maybe not the whole problem. Maybe you want to talk about delivering safe food, like Ruben shared. Maybe you want to talk about problem with people who have died and there's nowhere for them. You could decide on what you want to include as the problem, and then hopefully offer one or more solutions. And boy, we are not the WHO, World Health Organization. I wish we had all the solutions, but maybe we have ideas. Maybe we have some ideas we can share. So if you were, and we're not going to jump in with an essay, we're going to start with just paragraphs, but if you were going to introduce a problem solution, what do you think you would start with? Anyone have ideas what you would start with in your problem solution essay or paragraph? What would you include first?
Iffy.
Yeah, so let's say you're talking about this situation, COVID-19. First, you want to tell us about what? What do you want to tell us first?
The sickness.
Okay, the sickness, maybe you want to state the problem about the sickness, tell us about it. Not that the whole world doesn't know, but explain it. Anyone else?
Then
Oh, go ahead, Rosa.
pre, prevent from the spread the sickness and everywhere.
So,
Take it to protect yourself first.
so you're talking about preventing and protecting yourself. That sounds like that's going to come after, right? Because the
Right.
first part, I think you're really going to want to say, okay, what's the problem? This illness, and probably give some background information about the problem. What could you say? This is a illness that just came here, right? When did it come here to the US?
And April? No, actually, they come into in February.
Not
I think.
February. Yeah, I think it was late February. And so this is this new problem. We're describing the problem. And I guess I wouldn't use the word important because important is sort of a positive word. But why is the problem so big? Or why should we care about it? Right? We know why we should care about it. It's our lives. But in that first paragraph,
lose a lot of economies.
okay, so you might, in that first paragraph, you've got losing the economy. You've got what's the problem? This COVID-19 illness. And where did it come from? How does it start? Why is it such a big problem? Why should we care? Right? We've got lots of reasons to care. So this is our intro.
What?
Go ahead, Ruben.
Okay, so I think one of the problem is the hospital. Then many people die, and the hospital is so we the hospital we contain all people in. So we need more hospital. This is the problem because we don't know if the many people die for this problem.
Yeah, yeah. So you're bringing up something we have not mentioned yet. The entire hospitals, the healthcare system, the hospitals, right?
Yeah.
And boy, it's like, do the hospitals have what they need? Do the doctors and nurses have what they need? You might choose to write about, and this is going to be later, this isn't for this week, but you might choose to write about the problem is COVID-19, and the biggest part of the problem is healthcare. about that. You might focus on that, like Ruben is talking about. Such an important
Yes.
part of it. You'll decide, yes.
And also, they don't have enough uh, enough like things from the people, like enough
Masks.
no, the things who's when the people lose a break.
When
What's
people
it called?
when people lose what?
They can't breathe.
Cannot breathe. Not enough ventilators. Not enough ventilators. Enough equipment.
They
Right?
don't have any equipment and don't have many like enough nurses and doctors.
Right.
They
Staff.
don't have enough beds.
Right. And so, I mean, here now we're talking about the healthcare system. And if you did focus on that, you're really explaining the problem of the healthcare system. This is a big problem. I don't even know how to write about that without being a healthcare expert. But first, we're introducing that there's a problem. Then we've got these body paragraphs, right? And it's kind of like the details. Body paragraphs give you the details. So if you think about it, maybe let's go with the idea, Ruben, you brought up. Let's say we're thinking about the healthcare system, the hospitals. We know a problem is in the healthcare system right now. How about here? What are solutions and reasons why or how those solutions will work? Boy, I wish we could think
That's what
of.
I think.
Yeah?
The thing is staying home because you prevent to get a sick. If you get a sick, you need to go to the doctor, and so the hospital, and this is the reason why the many people are there, and you can contain more than if you maybe probably you not are sick, but um you go for any other reason, but you need to go to the hospital, and the solution is staying home uh, and clean your hands and everything.
So you might say, yeah. So Ruben's saying, I'm using words here. The number one solution is to stay home. You might say, I believe this is the most effective solution. Why? Well, because we don't have a vaccine and we don't know, the hospitals can't always treat this. Or you might say, maybe there is more than one solution that you can think of. Maybe there's 2 or 3 different ways you could approach the same problem. Maybe one of those approaches could be stay home. But what else? If we take your idea, stay home, what else could be effective with this problem? Anyone have an idea?
To cover your face.
Okay.
Take the mask and wear your other to go outside.
Okay.
And, wash your hands.
So you're coming back.
Distance the people.
I'm writing these.
People.
Yeah. All of the ideas you're saying, Zamzam, are things that we can do that don't have to do with the hospital. Ways to prevent the spread. Besides staying home, when you do have to go out, cover your face, keep social distancing, so it could be that maybe you would want to give a solution of the healthcare system. Who knows? But you could have many possible solutions. So again, the introductory paragraph really gives us the background of the problem, why it's a big problem. The body paragraph really explains solutions, maybe things that could work. Then, concluding paragraph. Let's say we're ending and concluding our essay, or, we're not going to be doing that for our timed writing, but you get the idea. What would we conclude with? Well, something you've done before in your own writing. maybe you summarize.
Yeah,
Or
summarize.
have you heard this before?
Call
What's
to action.
Yeah, what is
Action.
a call to action?
Mhm.
If somebody makes a call to action, they are calling you and me to act. What does that mean? A call to action. Fabiola, what do you think? Or anyone else?
Call to action
Work
is
together, the government and the people.
Okay, first Zamzam, then Ruben. So Zamzam, you said work together and what?
The government and the people to work together and to
Uh-huh.
To prepare how we prevent the
Mm-hmm.
to spread.
I like how you're explaining that. I wouldn't have thought of that because the call to action is saying it's not just the government doing, it's the people doing too. The people are called to action. Ruben, did you want to add to that?
yeah. To invite so somebody to do something.
Yeah. To invite, maybe you could say even stronger than invite, to persuade someone to do something.
Yeah.
Can we use that word? Because we know how powerful.
More.
But that's great. To invite or persuade someone to do something, right? I think about the very scary story Rosa told. It's not story, real life about Ecuador. People who are dying and have to be burned in the streets. I mean, horrible, horrible stuff. That story will persuade many people. That's a fear, persuade, real life. But maybe something, some way to persuade so that we can avoid the problem getting worse or avoid the problem in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we've done 3 things here, and this is what we're going to be spending our time with in the next weeks and maybe different kinds of topics. Introducing a problem, telling about the problem, why it's important, why should we care? Then describing the problem with possible ways to fix it or make it less bad. Why those solutions might work, how they could work, maybe one solution, maybe more. And finally, some kind of summary or telling the reader, getting them motivated to do something about that problem. So we're going to get to do some powerful writing. It's exciting to think about. So all these slides are in Schoology, but let's just take a minute and do this recap where we read this again, maybe take turns reading. So what are the parts of a problem solution? Zamzam, can you see the first one? What's the first part?
Yeah. It's identifies and explaining the problem.
Okay, good. Fabiola, can you see the second part?
Gives the background information, history of the problem.
And this problem, COVID-19, we all know about. But let's say you're writing about the problem of children not having food for lunch, hungry children. It could be any problem. Third one, Rosa, you want to read that?
Explain why the problem is important.
Right, why it's important or big deal. And Ruben?
Offers one or more solutions to the problem.
Right, as meant, whatever you can think of. And I'll say here, maybe there's one great solution. You say there are other solutions too, but I'm going to focus on one. Or here's 2 possible solutions. It doesn't mean it's everything, but you're going to talk about 2. And then finally, the last part, Zamzam, you want to read that?
Summarizing may points and may include call to action.
Right, you may include some call to action. So you get the idea here. We're not going to do the practice. We'll do that next time because we've kind of run out of time, but that is no problem. So I'm going to stop that presentation